Men, it's not that you're forgetting the daily challenges, it's you're forgetting about the attack. As Christian men, we are called to surrender our lives to Jesus. To surrender to Jesus means to give in, not to give up. We are called to use our strengths, abilities, and opportunities to grow and prosper. We are called to strengthen ourselves, our families, and our communities. We are called to be disciplined, courageous, and honorable. This is Surrendered Strength. Men, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Surrendered Strength Podcast. I'm your host, Niall Lansing. Before we get into it, if you haven't already liked, subscribed, shared, make sure you're sharing the podcast, whether you're watching it on YouTube or you're listening to it on a podcast platform. Please do that. It helps. Just share the message, share the gospel, share the fact that there's Christian men who are wanting to stand firm in their faith, and allows us to build a company of men who want to band together and grow in their faith, and to live in a way that honors and glorifies God. So I appreciate that. If it's your first time, welcome. If it's not your first time, welcome back. Today, I'm going to be talking about my past week and just full honesty, and just being open and honest, because we don't have this in our society too much, where people are willing to just be open and share the fact that, hey, I had a challenging week. It was probably the toughest week I've had in a long time. And so that's where I'm going to be coming from today is just the fact that I'm coming off a challenging week. And there's we all are going through different struggles, different challenges, and I could list all mine. You could have yours. Some of them are going to be similar, and some of them are going to be a little different. It is what it is. It doesn't make my challenge or my struggles any more or less than yours, and yours any more or less than mine. It just reinforces that we live in a broken world, and until we're done with this world, until we're out, well, here we are. We have to deal with it. We have to live with it. But this doesn't mean we have to continue to suffer. It doesn't mean we have to continue to just feel the daily pain, the just feel the struggle that, some days is extremely challenging. Some days maybe you don't want to get out of bed. Some days, let's be honest, some days you don't know if you want to go on to the next day. You don't know. And I get it. I've been there. I've had thoughts of, it would just be easier if I wasn't here. And I want to remind you, first and foremost, that is a lie. Don't believe that lie. And that's kind of what we're talking about today, is just the lies that we face on a daily basis, which distract us from, well, they distract us from the truth. And here's the truth that we aren't distracted from: the fact that every day we have challenges, we have struggles, whether it's in our marriage, our finances, our faith, our health and fitness. There's going to be something. And the reality is, if there's nothing, you're either numb or you're completely oblivious, and you're going through life, or you're just not trying. That's an option too, or a possibility too. Like, if you have zero struggles, then you're maybe just going through life and not trying. So every day, again, we have daily struggles. And this past week, like I said, I had it was rough. And what kind of got it going for me, and what made it even more challenging for me, is the fact that I was exhausted. I was physically exhausted. I currently work overnights, and there's days where I don't get off work right away at my normal 6 a.m. time. And 3 days in a row, That's exactly what happened. So then that that adds on to, okay, I get home late. I struggle sleeping during the day already. So now I'm struggling to sleep and getting less sleep than what I typically do. So I was just physically exhausted. And there's still times I am still trying to recover from that. Although I don't think I'll ever fully recover because working overnights, I don't think you ever recover until you're off overnights. But that's another story. So I was struggling with getting sleep. So I was physically exhausted. I was just tired. And I know for me that when I get physically tired, that that is an opening for the devil. The Bible talks about not giving the devil a foothold, not giving him an opening in the door to sneak in. And I know for me that's something that I've struggled with. That once I get tired, once I get a certain point, then my mental, my mentality, my my faith, my spirituality, all of this starts to weaken, and I start to get susceptible to just listening to the lies that are being told to me in the back of my head. And this doesn't mean I'm not still praying, I'm not still reading the Bible. It just means that there's a foothold, there's an opening, and I allowed that foothold to remain open. As much as I tried not to, it it got open and the devil got in. He was attacking me. And so it went into me just being physically tired to me feeling mentally, emotionally, spiritually exhausted and frustrated and angry and just I began to throw this pity party, if you will. And then this happens to us. We can we can say it doesn't, but we all know that we've been there. We all been in the place where we find ourselves struggling and we get, for whatever reason, we get angry, we get depressed, we just get down. And the what I've come to realize and come to remember is that we're going to have challenges, we're going to have struggles, but it's not the challenges that are causing us to be depressed. It's not the challenges that are causing us to be angry. It's not the challenges that are causing us to get frustrated with our spouse and our kids and to be short tempered, because the challenges are always there. And I think a lot of us we don't forget about the challenges. We know they're there. We expect them to be there. As Christian men, we should expect challenges every day. But what we forget is the fact that there is an enemy attacking us. He's using the challenges that we face daily to attack us. And the problem isn't the attack. The problem is that we forget that the enemy is there. We forget that the enemy is using our everyday life against us. He's using our every conversation with our wife against our marriage. He's using our every move against our kids and our relationship with our kids. He's using everything around us. He's using politics. He's using everything to try to destroy, to kill, and to steal our joy. So again, I don't believe you guys are forgetting that, hey, every day there's challenges. You're going to struggle with something. And the reality is, I'm not forgetting that either. But where we struggle, where we need to refocus and continue to fix our eyes on Jesus, on the Lord, is understanding and remembering that, hey, we're under attack. We're living in a broken world, that we are being attacked. The enemy wants nothing other than to steal, kill, and destroy all of the joy, all of the life that God has given you. That's John 10:10. If you're curious. So, man, I want to encourage you that you know you're going to have daily struggles. And some days it's going to be a small struggle. Other days it's going to be a big struggle. And some days they get compounded onto each other. And one day gets piled on to the next and to the next and to the next. And we have to remember that it's not the people that we're dealing with, it's not the circumstances that we're facing that are the issue. That's just life. The issue is the enemy is tricking us into believing that it's your wife or it's your kids that are the problem. It's your financial situation, it's your job that's the problem. It's the fact that God hasn't given you everything you wanted and and more, even though he has. These are little lies that the devil is using to, again, simply steal, kill, and destroy our joy and life. God has given us this life, and he's given us the abundance in this life. He's given us joy. He's given us all the fruits of the Spirit when we live by the Spirit. But it's so easy to forget and to get distracted and just focus on the struggles and forget that that struggle isn't even a struggle because God has overcome the world. God, God is our provider. God is our protector. Like he's got everything under control. Every challenge you're facing, God has, he's got it. He's good. You don't have to worry. But the enemy says you have to worry. Says you should be anxious about this. Says you should be fearful. He says you should be blaming your wife. He says you should be blaming your your partner, your employees, whatever it may be, your situation. But this is the oldest trick in the book. This is exactly what he did to Adam and Eve. Adam blamed Eve when God came. Hey, did you ate from the tree? You ate the fruit when I told you not to? Adam says, it was her fault. The woman that you gave me, it's her fault. And it's your fault for giving me the woman. It's all lies. It's all an attack against you, against God, against the life that God has for you. So, men, I want to encourage you to remember that it's not the daily challenges, it's not the daily struggle that are bringing you down. You're being attacked. You're being attacked by an enemy that wants nothing other than to steal, kill, and destroy your joy and your life, and your marriage, and your kids' life, and everything, all your desires, all the things that you want to do to honor and glorify God. He is trying to destroy that. The enemy is trying to destroy that. So let's not forget that we are in a spiritual battle. And I want to leave you with First Peter. First Peter, it's going to be the 5th chapter. Let's start with verse 8. Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a lion, like a roaring lion, seeking someone to destroy. Resist him, firm in your faith, knowing that the same kinds of suffering are being experienced to your brotherhood throughout the world. Every Christian is experiencing the same attacks, the same suffering. It might be a little different in terms of the physicality. There are people that are physically being beaten. But again, it's not, our battle is not against flesh and blood. It's a spiritual battle. So whether you're being physically beaten or you're just under attack mentally, spiritually, like you're suffering, and you're only suffering because of the enemy. So remember that, and we fix our eyes on Jesus. We continue to walk by faith, walk in faith, and live by the Spirit. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm saying it's going to be worth it. It's worth it to continue to follow God, continue to fix our eyes on Jesus, continue to walk by faith. And the crown of life is what you get at the end. Read Revelations. To the conquerors. To the conquerors, it says, to all the churches. And each church says this is what you get when you conquer. It's not conquering this world, conquering the spiritual world, the spiritual battle, and keeping in step with the Spirit and walking in faith. God bless. Thanks for listening. Connect with me on Instagram and Facebook at Surrendered Strength. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and live the Surrendered Strength Code. Discipline, courage, honor.